Imagine 3 years ago, I told you that 3 years later, Andrew Wiggins would be the second best player in an NBA Finals in which his team won. You would have said I was crazy, but look what we have here. That statement has become a reality. Andrew Wiggins is now an NBA champion with the Golden State Warriors, and he was an essential piece in them winning the title. His stellar defense, high energy and motor, his much needed offensive punch at crucial moments, and his overall attitude in terms of doing whatever the team needs in order for them to win is something we should all commend. And all those traits are something that Wiggins didn't always have in his game. In fact, the reason he even ended up in Golden State in the first place was because he didn't have those traits with him in Minnesota. Going back in time, Andrew Wiggins was the number 1 overall pick by the Timberwolves, and he kind of seemed to coast through his time there. No assertiveness, no fire, no motor. At least that's what it seemed like. And I don't necessarily want to put all the blame on him. Part of that is just his personality, but another huge part is that the organization he was in. I mean, I wouldn't be too thrilled if I was surrounded by the T-Wolves organization. At the time, that seemed like they had their feet in quicksand, so to speak. The structure didn't influence him in a positive way. By no stretch was he overall bad in Minnesota or a bust, but he certainly had much more to reach as a player during his time there. He got traded to the Warriors in February of 2020, and the rest is history. All of a sudden, all that fire, desire, motor, hustle, and consistency started to take shape in his game, and all that culminated in him and the Warriors capturing the 2022 NBA title. More specifically for Wiggins, we must go back in time and tell the story of how he got to this point. Obviously, being the number 1 overall pick comes with its set of expectations no matter who it is, no matter where you go. You're expected to be the face of the franchise and in most cases have a superstar personality and become a superstar player in the near future. In 2014, those expectations were on Wiggins' shoulders coming into the franchise that had not made the playoffs since 2004. And mind you, people were calling this guy the next LeBron and Maple Jordan, and we all know those expectations were pushing it, but there was a reason why he was compared to those guys in the first place. He had won Gatorade Player of the Year as a senior in high school. He was on the cover of Slam Magazine, a McDonald's All-American, Big 12 Freshman of the Year, and a college basketball All-American. His insane athletic ability, coupled with his size and length at the forward spot, standing at 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan, coupled with a smooth, skilled offensive game, and that size was perfect for being a switchable and ultimately great defender. He was seen as one of those few guys ever with generational talent. In his first year in Minnesota, he did what was expected, winning Rookie of the Year and showing flashes of what he could do. That season, he averaged about 17 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 2 assists on 44% shooting from the field and 31% from 3. Not bad for a rookie, right? Well, the only problem is that in his 5th season in the league, he averaged 18 points per game with again 5 rebounds and 3 assists on 41% from the field and 34% from 3. The marginal improvement from Andrew at that time had much of the NBA community frustrated because we all knew the upside and the potential this guy had, only to be washed away by mediocrity, a lackadaisical approach, a seemingly disinterested guy with no fire, no dog in him. We were all asking, why is this happening? We saw that in his 3rd season, he had seemed like he was arriving, averaging a career-high 24 points per game on 45% from the field and 36% from 3, both being a career high up until he arrived in Golden State. He was a borderline all-star that year, and it seemed like he was playing with much more pep in his step, more urgency, and I think the big reason for that was Tom Thibodeau arriving as his new coach. But nope, all that momentum had regressed. Did the Jimmy Butler situation have something to do with that? Well, let's take a look at it. A main reason why Jimmy Butler forced his way out of Minnesota in the first place was because he didn't appreciate the work ethic, or lack thereof, and attitude of the 2 young guys, Karl Anthony Towns and of course Andrew Wiggins. He felt like those dudes weren't his type of tough, rough riders that Jimmy likes to have around him. So when Jimmy was gone, Wiggins did not step up his game, as he actually kind of got worse after Jimmy left. Mind you, October of 2017, the T-Wolves had signed Wiggins to a 5-year, $148 million contract extension, as they thought he'd improve into an all-star caliber player, aka worth the money. Obviously he wasn't, and the Timberwolves kind of gave up. They had no other choice, and decided to trade Andrew Wiggins in February of 2020. Wiggins was essentially traded for D'Angelo Russell, and he was ideally a better fit for the Warriors than D'Lo despite his struggles. His expectations went down the drain from a star player who was supposed to carry a franchise to a guy that can be a Harrison Barnes type role player. No disrespect to Harrison Barnes, but that's the truth. There was hope that Andrew Wiggins being in a better situation, a more strict and organized environment, would help out his development, and obviously that was the case. Yes, Andrew is a big part of why he didn't reach his ceiling in Minnesota, but the organization can be blamed as well. They did very little to surround Wiggins and Cat with the type of requisite pieces in order to compete, as well as half the time their coaching was subpar. Transition to Golden State, the organization just speaks for itself, a first-class organization from top to bottom that demands excellence and nothing but excellence. Wiggins eventually would rub off on that winning type environment, although the Warriors had their worst 2 seasons of the Steve Kerr era when Wiggins arrived, but that was primarily due to injury. Early on, you saw the light switch turn on. Wiggins has started to become a more engaged and focused defender. He was more consistent offensively, as the Warriors system had helped him become more aggressive for himself and for others. He became a great team player, slowly but surely. Yes, there were still those blasé moments where he would be lost in the game and not making an impact, but for the most part, you heard and saw his impact. In 2022, he was rewarded with his improved game and attitude. Although he had put up better numbers in the past, he had never made a mark on winning like he did this season. He put up a modest 17 points per game, but on a career-high 46% from the field and career-high 39% from 3, as well as posting a career-high in defensive rating. And he became known as a lockdown defender, taking some of the toughest assignments night in and night out alongside Draymond Green. He became an all-star, and although many people didn't agree that he should have been an all-star starter, some people even argued that he shouldn't have been an NBA all-star at all, Andrew Wiggins no doubt had improved from his game in Minnesota. In these conference finals against the Dallas Mavericks, Wiggins was the primary defender on Luka Doncic, and although Luka still got his points up, averaging 32 points a game and 6 assists, Wiggins had moments where he made everything so much tougher for Luka. Even though he was still scoring, even though he was still making plays. It took a lot out of Luka to continue to go into his second, third, and fourth move just to get a quality look off from Andrew Wiggins. And as time went on, Luka was exhausted, but as the series waned, actually Luka had recorded a game where he finished with more turnovers than field goals, and that was the first time that it happened in his career, and that was all thanks to Wiggins. In the NBA Finals, Wiggins played amazing defense on Jason Tatum as he shot 18 of 48, which is 37% when Wiggins was the primary defender. Not only has his defense been stellar, but with the Warriors with their back against the wall in Game 4 on the road in Boston, when Steph Curry was seemingly the only guy doing something, Andrew Wiggins has stepped up, pitching in 17 points and 16 rebounds, coming up with some huge stops on Tatum in the fourth quarter. Those 16 rebounds were the most he's had in the game in his career, period, with his career high being 11 in the past. I, and even Draymond Green, was surprised that the hyper-athletic small forward only has a career high of 11 rebounds and hasn't averaged more than 5 rebounds per game in a season in his career. But I guess that's just a microcosm of Minnesota Andrew Wiggins. And in the pivotal Game 5, he was the best player on the floor for the Warriors, as he was assertive, aggressive, and fundamentally sound. He had finished with 26 points and 13 rebounds, a second straight double-double, as it was the first time that he had had double-doubles in back-to-back games in his entire career. So he's been putting up career highs in the most important games of not only the season, but of his career. And all that led to him becoming an NBA champion. This just goes to show you how quickly a narrative can change on a player. He went from a guy that seemed like he didn't want it, but a change of scenery showed us that he does have the capabilities of being the guy we were looking for from a mindset perspective and attitude perspective. Yes, he's put up better numbers in the past, but Andrew Wiggins has never looked better than he does today. Now, y'all let me know what y'all think about Andrew Wiggins and the resurgence of his career and how he's remodeled his game, remodeled his mindset, you can see, and how it culminated in the Warriors winning the 2022 NBA championship. Like, I was very impressed with him throughout this playoff run. being the primary defender on guys like Luka and Jason Tatum, even Jaylen Brown to some degree. And it's crazy like how you can have your career rise from the dead. You know, he was in Minnesota. He had regressed from his third year in the league. People were calling him a bust. People said he should be traded. People said he didn't have that dog in him. People said that he didn't have that fire, that motor in him. And then he goes to Golden State, and it's the complete opposite. He's consistent. He's assertive. He has that dog in him. He's fighting in there, man. And you just love to see it, man. So that just goes to show you, man, never write off someone. Never write off someone. But with that being said, this is Jimmy from Just the Facts Hoops. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'm out. Peace.